Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek, and it's time to review episode 7 of season 1. I keep saying it, probably the only season we'll get, but you never know with blooming Lucasfilm these days. Anyway, we're up to episode 7 of The Acolyte. This one's called Choices, I think. Yeah, something like that. It doesn't have a double barrel title this time, because it's not about May and Osha, it's about the Jedi's point of view. And basically it's episode 3 again, but just from a different perspective. And Leslie Yee Headland's probably thinking she's so clever. Oh, I'm doing the same episode but from a different viewpoint. Oh, isn't that clever? Yeah. Maybe it would be in a series that were, you know, a full-length series like we used to get in the old days, with like 20, 24 episodes a season. Maybe it'd be fun to do an episode that's the same as a previous one, but from a different perspective. But not when you've only got 8 bloody episodes. We've only one left, for Christ's sake. But anyway, it were crap. It were a crap episode, but there are good bits in it. Or a good bit in it. But even that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But there's a lightsaber fight in it, which is kind of cool, I must admit. It's fun to watch, but if you think about it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, so let's just get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. So we begin. Here we go. We begin. We're on Brandock. If it comes on. Just give me a second. Is it going to come on? There we go. Foreboding music playing, because we're on Brandock. There we go. Or Brendock, whatever. 16 years earlier. It said you can't see it for me. I'm covering up the text. It doesn't matter. It's 16 years earlier. As I said, it's just the same episode as episode 3, but from the Jedi's perspective. So here we see the Jedi. Here's Sol, and there's Master Inara in the background, and there we can see Kel Nacker, and also Torbin's knocking about as well. And they're using what seem to be metal detectors. Anyway, he's going around collecting plants. There he is, stuffing bits of grass into his quasi-futuristic collection box. There's Carrie-Anne Moss, the only person really, apart from Manager Kinto, who kind of stands out as, you know, quite good in this series. But that's because she's a professional. I'm not saying the others aren't, but they're just not as good. A lot of people have been giving Lee Jung-jae a lot of leeway because he essentially had to learn English for this role. But, you know, he's not getting any better. I'm sorry. I'm not giving him any leeway. It's a bloody terrible character. I'm sure he's a lovely man. I'm sure all the actors and actresses in this are all lovely people, but the characters are bloody awful. Anyway, so there she's checking stuff out. Right, have I missed a bit? I think I've missed a bit showing Kel Nacker with his... there he is. There's Kel Nacker with his metal detector. And I've seen other people on YouTube and that talking about it. It's a bloody metal detector. What they're using $180 million. Thing is, though, I bet it's not just a metal detector. I bet they didn't go down to Metal Detectors R Us or wherever you get them from, or bought one off Amazon, you know, and stuck some bits on. I bet it isn't. I bet the props department probably spent a long time making this, you know, scanner, and it probably cost like $50,000 or something like that. Because I get the impression that what's happening with a lot of Disney properties these days is it's like that scene of Independence Day where Judd Hirsch is talking about. Somebody asks how they get the funds for something like Area 51, and Judd Hirsch's character says, "We don't think they spend, you know, $10,000 on a hammer, $50,000 on a toilet seat, do you?" And I think that's what's happening with a lot of Disney properties. I think they're being overcharged for things, and I bet that's what's happened here. That's why it costs $180 million, because the props department probably charged them $50,000 for 2, or maybe they just 1, I don't know, but these metal detectors, which is essentially just, I mean, it looks less like a metal detector and more like one of those floor cleaners, you know, like a squeegee mop, you know, with a square end. It looks more like one of those, doesn't it? But anyway, whatever. What they're doing they're on Brendock because the planet's supposed to be dead. There was a hyperspace disaster, whatever that means, which I presume just scoured the planet. It wasn't dead at one time, because we learn that the castle, on the mountain, is an old mining facility. So there's obviously something there before, or people have been there before at least. But the planet's supposed to be dead, devoid of life, but it isn't. And they've come to the conclusion that it's a virgence in the Force that has created this life. So that's kind of is that a clue as to why the lesbian space witches went there, so they could create Meanosha? I don't know, because it doesn't really tell you. It's a J.J. Abrams mystery box, even though J.J. Abrams probably had nothing to do with it. But they're all from the same school, aren't they, these days, or they seem to be. When you go to film school, you get taught the J.J. Abrams art of filmmaking, which is don't explain anything. Or if you do explain something, it makes no sense anyway. Anyway, here he is. Torben isn't happy to be there. He wants to go back home to Coruscant. He's all moany and mopey. And the other... What's happened to bloody Sol here? Is his face blowing up? It's just a weird... No, it didn't. Has he got a prosthetic head? I'm sorry, but just from the side, he looks like an alien. I know technically they're all aliens because they're in a galaxy far, far away, but never mind. Anyway, Kel Naka's cooking. Much like Chewbacca, we're cooking porgs on Acto. That were weird, wasn't it? That's weird how that's come around again, hasn't it? In memes, but never mind. Anyway, he's cooking and he's not hungry. He's Torben because he wants to go home. He's like he's the Padawan. He's Indara's Padawan. And we learned that Sol hasn't got a Padawan because he's a shit Jedi, apparently. Anyway, so she's telling him all about this stuff, and they learn that it's the same level. They're looking for a virgins in the Force that created this life. Does the virgins do they just happen? Naturally. Obviously so. Right, anyway, next day, they're still out collecting their samples, and Inara has a go at Sol. Essentially saying that he's saying Torben's unbalanced, disturbed and unbalanced. He says, maybe it's you that are, you great bloody dope. And that's why you haven't got a Padawan, because you're rubbish, you. Anyway, so they're, what's happened here now? Yes, they're splitting up to do things. This is where he wanders off to Sol, and this is where he encounters May and Osha. Or Osha and May. Remember, they're named after Canadian soap. As in soap to wash with, not a Canadian soap opera. Right, so here he is. There we say. We know it's the same place because he finds the Whomping Willow, or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. And there he is next to his ancient Stargate. And there we go. So he sees them. And for some magical, mystical space magic, he gets a connection with Osha, but not May. And he wants to save Osha. He sees them giving that. We are super duper two. We are two above, stars above, sea below, blah blah blah, load of bollocks, etc. And then he sees Mother Coral come. Remember, she's the Zabrak, but not a Night Sister Zabrak. She's not from Dathomir. She's the other sort of Zabrak, which I've forgotten. I think it begins with I. Whatever, look it up. He sees her, and now because she's telling him get home, and she's basically got him by the ear. She's saying, "Come on home, you two rapscallions." He thinks they're in danger. So off he goes. There we go. Titles. At least the Acolyte titles don't take a million. Take a million years to come on. Like the Andor ones did. But anyway. Right, what's happening next? Because I can't bloody remember. It's followed them. It's followed them to the base of the castle. I suppose you call it a castle. Well, it's a mining facility. It looks like a castle, doesn't it? So who built this? I don't know. We don't know who built it. But it's obviously been there a long time because it's got moss on it. Anyway, in they go. And we learn this, that's an elevator that leads up. So, right, so he can't operate it because it must need some sort of code, I'm presuming. Or maybe he just wants to be stealthy. So he thinks he's Spider-Man and he goes scurrying up the wall. There he goes. Diddy. Spider Sol, climbing up a bloody big wall. I nearly rhymed that, didn't it? Anyway, so up he goes. Not just up the wall, up the mountain as well. Hope he's got his crampons with him. Right, so here he goes. So he's watching them practicing their force stuff. So now he knows, it's a force users colony, I suppose you could say. And Mother Coral senses his presence because she turns round and she goes to check, but he's sodded off. You see the other witches of the coven, because they call it a coven, so they're obviously witches. And they're getting ready for the ascension ceremony by chanting over this big hole. It's been suggested this is a connection to Last Jedi. I think it's Last Jedi. Yes, Last Jedi. Where we saw Rey on Acto. With that big hole that she jumped in. That was something to do with the dark side. Where she saw the mirror reflection of herself and all that. And went going like, giving it all that, wasn't she? It's something along those lines. So maybe there's like dark side of the force stuff connected with this place. Whatever. Right, so he goes back. There we go. So he's telling, look, they're witches, and Tobin says Night Sisters, and somebody says something like that. Night Sisters can't produce kids or whatever. Maybe because they're all women. Don't know, but anyway. Shiriwook, if you remember, is the language of the Wookiees. Why can't they speak English? I mean, why can't they have some sort of translator? That translates what they're saying. Why does everybody have to learn to speak Shiriwook? Anyway, to understand it, like Han, for instance. Anyway, whatever. But she's telling him, he wants to go and save Osha for some reason. I don't know if he knows the names. Maybe he heard them. Maybe he overheard them, the names being spoken. I can't remember. I think he did. Yes, when he were watching. For some reason, he wants to save Osha, and she should become his Padawan. A bit presumptuous of him, isn't it? But never mind. But he's saying, contact if you would defer to the council, but I blah blah blah. Anyway, so they're getting ready to. They do go and investigate. Yes, they're there at the base of the mountain. And they can't get in, I don't think. I can't bloody remember. This is where this is, again, like I say, it's just episode 3 again. This is where they've gone in now and they've introduced themselves. And this is where they say, they test the kids, test the girls, etc. We'll bring them the next day, blah, blah, blah. And we also see what happened to Tobin. Remember, in episode 3, they made his eyes go black. And now we've seen it from his point of view. And what's happening while his eyes are black? Mother Anasea, Jodie Lee Turner. Yes. She's in his head. There we go. She's in his head. Basically trying to seduce him with the dark side of the Force and saying nice, placating things to him like that. You are a strong and good Jedi. And he says he wants to go home. And he says, well, if you give in to your desires, you can go home and all that stuff. Anyway, there we go. So, they leave. So they've gone back to the ship. He's obviously upset about it all. I don't know if is he that upset that 16 years later he poisons himself to death? Obviously so. But anyway. There you go. I feel a connection to Osha. She's meant to be my Padawan. It's kind of grooming her, isn't it? You could say. It's Disney. It's to be expected. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the spiral thing on May's forehead because it's part of the ceremony. But Osha didn't have one, which means she's not ready to become part of them, and she wants to become a Jedi. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so they're going to bring him anyway to be tested. He's meditating, and then they arrive. To take a sample of their blood to do a midi-chlorian test. Anyway, they do the tests like in this. Another stupid line here as well. You must divine what images appear on the testing screen. And then the next line. There we go. Next line. What do you want me to do? She just bloody told you. You're thick. So obviously not top of the class, is she, May? She's just told you. Divine the images on the testing screen. Anyway, so there we go. So obviously some sort of Yeti. I don't know. It's one of those things that we saw in Rogue One, I think, isn't it? But she gets them all wrong. Deliberately, because that's what she was told. Remember, to get to fail the test, and they say that she was told to fail deliberately. So they're going to do try another way with Osha, and so that's what they do. The test her slightly differently, but anyway, she eventually says she wants to become a Jedi, doesn't she? Right, so. Afterwards, we find that she's contacted the Jedi Council. We learn later on that they tell them, the kids they're too old to be trained, which is fair enough. Because obviously Anakin was too old as well, and these two girls look older than Anakin. Anywho, what happens next? It's obviously still bothering him, Torben, about what happened to him, and he thinks something should be done about them. But they haven't to. Basically, Inara's telling them that they can't interfere. They've just got to leave. Let sleeping dogs lie and all that stuff. But he's very insistent in his soul. So basically, everything that happens is his fault, really. Because he's pressing the matter, isn't he? And there we go. The M count's very high. And this is where we learn. I think this is where we learn. Yes, it is. That May and Osha, or Osha May, popular soap from Canada. Are not two people. They are one person split into two. So it's obviously like that episode of Star Trek, isn't it? Is it the enemy within, where Kirk gets in a transport accident, or whatever, gets split into two Kirks, one evil and one good. And it's kind of like that, isn't it? So they've stolen that from Star Trek. The twins were artificially created. They never actually say that they created them, using the Force. Like Anakin Skywalker created using the Force. They never actually say that. So, but I think that's the implication. But they never actually go so far as to say it. Anyway, so I want to cut back. This is obviously not from the Jedi's point of view, so they're not there. So we're just seeing what we've already seen. But basically, it's showing these witches as the goodies. The Jedi are the ones that are all, we've got to take them away and all that stuff. They're saying it in ways like we've got to protect them, but they've got to snatch these girls away from their family. But she's saying, we're giving them the choice. The witches are giving them the choice, but the Jedi aren't. The Jedi are determined to take them away from these witches. But the witches are going to give them the choice. And Mother Coral attacks May, in like a test. May obviously defends herself using the thread. They keep calling it the Force, but they call it the thread, don't they? Anyway, so she's talking to the other witches about it. I must confer with the others, because it's a democracy. Because these are the good guys, essentially, aren't they? Remember, the Jedi are the bad guys. Even though it's the height of the Republic, it's called the High Republic after all. The Jedi, at the height of their powers, bringing peace to the galaxy. George Lucas, I know he's not dead, but he's spinning in his wherever he is, in his Skywalker ranch. He is. If he cared, but he doesn't. He's like Harrison Ford now, probably. I don't care. Anyway, what's happened here? Don't know. Can't remember. Somebody's. Yes, that's May. Yes, I remember now. May's smashing the elevator control, so they can't get in. So they're trapped inside. Right, so warbling stops, whatever that means, I don't know. But obviously they can't use the elevator, they have to go scaling up the side of the mountain. Because what had happened, Torben had buggered off on a speeder bike to do whatever they were going to do. I've no idea. Were they just heading to kill him? I don't know. I can't remember. And the others, Kanaka and Inara went in the ship. So we'll follow in the ship. And Sol followed on the other speeder bike. In a scene of the speed, I'll see if I can find it. I'll go back again. See if I can find it showing them on the speeders. Because it didn't look very good. Return of the Jedi did it better. If I can find it. Is this it? No, probably gone too far. Shush, there we go. I forgot to mute it, didn't I? There we go. Return of the Jedi did it better, didn't it, in 1983? But it doesn't look great, does it? Yeah, better lighting effects, I suppose you could say. But anyway, never mind. Right, so where were we? She smashed the elevator. So there goes clambering up the wall. Remember, May locked Osha in her room and then started the fire because this. They've said it's a mine, so maybe it's Tylium from Battlestar Galactica. I know I said this, I think back in episode 3, my review. Maybe it's a Tylium mine, which is why it's so flammable. Another thing she's stolen, maybe. There it is. Well, this is technology, but they've got oil lamps, it seems. Anyway, she starts the fire. Etc. Right, so I think something happens. Is this where they see an explosion? Let me go back. No, it's not yet, is it? She says she can't land, so she's going to get low enough so Kelnaka can leap down, and then she's just going to hover about. Get everyone in the common room. What is this, bloody Hogwarts? It sounds like it, doesn't it? Must be Slytherin. Definitely Slytherin. Prepare for battle. So, she's starting the fire. There you go. And it soon spreads out of control, turning into an electrical fire as well, because all this starts fizzing and popping and spreading. And it seems like she thinks, I've done something wrong. Don't they have fire extinguishers? Obviously, despite her sister being called Osha, the health and safety aspects of this place leave a lot to be desired. Anyway, the fire soon spreads and she runs off. Remember, Osha escapes through a vent, doesn't she? Right, so either they've climbed to the top, either at the top in some, Star Trek-like set. I mean, it does. It's obviously at the volume, innit? You can tell, can't you? It's not on location. So here they are. They arrive. They're saying they want Osha to go with them, and they're going to start fighting. There we go. And for some reason, known only to her, I don't know, but Mother Anastasia turns into smoke, or turns into like Mothman or something. I don't know. It's some wispy black smoke for some reason. Don't know why. But apparently, even if you're wispy black smoke, you can still be killed with a lightsaber, because that's what Sol does. There he goes. Penetrates the smoke with the lightsaber, but she turns back human again, and then we see she's dead. You see she's got black eyes. But what was the point of that? I don't know. Was this her Obi-Wan Kenobi moment? Did she know this was going to happen? God knows. So she's dead. And then, so this is May sees that. So this is why she wants revenge and all that stuff. Mama. And then all the other witches start. That's Osha escaping. Look. And all the other witches, with their bows and arrows, they open fire. So there we go, giving it all that. And this is by the way, this is the good bit. I said there were one part that were quite good. This is it. As I said, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense. But now we're going to see. I think I forgot her name, Mother Coral. I think she turns into wispy black smoke as well in a minute. They're doing a bit of fighting, not using his lightsaber. They're fighting like hand to hand and punching each other. But Kelnaka's going to appear in a minute, as we'll see, while Torben's deflecting all the bows and arrow bolts. And then she says, "Fight me!" But he doesn't want to. Well, then the explosions happened deep inside. Remember there was that, like, I don't know, some sort of generator that blew up. Master Inara sees all that happening. Look, all explosions within. They're saying the twins, they're locked inside. They've got to go save them. But then I think this is Mother Coral turns into wispy smoke. They must all be able to do this. And somehow, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really explain it. There we go. Somehow they take control of Kelnacker. We see he's got black eyes. And he's become their puppet. Pardon me. So Kelnacker attacks them. Here we go. We see all the rest of the coven. They're all taking all of them apparently to control Kelnacker. Where's Mother Coral gone? I've no idea. She's just disappeared into smoke. Is she inside Kelnacker? I don't know. Or is she just gone? I don't know. But she turned into smoke and buggered off. So this is the best bit where they're seeing a Wookiee with a lightsaber, which is kind of cool, and they're fighting him, and he's throwing them about, and all that stuff. It is kind of cool. And this is where he grabs hold of Torben. This is where we see how he gets his scar on his eye. Remember when we saw him when he looked like Ryan Kindle, just before he poisoned himself. We saw that he had a scar on his eye. And we say, how did he get that scar? Well, this is how he got that scar. A Wookiee gave him it. There we go. And having the presence of mind, still uses lightsaber. There you go. Screaming, but Sol intervenes. He gets thrown about. But then here we go. Then he's going to kill Sol. He's throttling Sol, and here she comes now. Here she comes. Mother. Master Inara appears. Trinity. There you go. Bit of a leg scissors. Flips him over. Then shoves a hand on his head. She's doing. She thinks she's Spock. Remember. Oh, that was Spock, wasn't it? So she's using her force powers to get to stop the control of Kelnacker. And for some reason, when she does this, all the other witches die. They're going to show it. Have I missed it? Hang on, here we go. Oh look. And for some reason, they all die. Why? Dunno. It doesn't tell us. So just by doing that, she's killed a whole coven of dark force witches, whatever, thread witches. How? Dunno. Don't know. So now Sol's got to go and save the girls. So let me see that black blows up. This is where she's talking to Osha. Mama's dead because she saw it happen. Obviously, she saw Sol kill her mama. That's why she doesn't like Sol. Strained grunting. That'd be me in a bit. Because I kind of need the loo. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, so he's using the force to I don't know what is he holding the bridge up? Is he stopping them from? I don't know what he's doing, but he's using the force for something. Why doesn't he just use the force to grab them and pull them towards him? I don't know. As I said at the beginning, he's a shit Jedi. May falls, Osha falls, but he grabs her instead of using the force to grab her. Like he did in episode 2, maybe. I can't remember. When she was doing her the fugitive thing, where she was going to jump off a cliff, and she fell, but he used the force to stop her falling. Instead of doing that, he grabs hold of her and pulls her up. Right, so, but we still don't really know what happened, do we? Really, I don't think. But anyway, so that's what happened. Inara killed all the witches. Sol killed Mother Anastasia. What happened to Mother Coral? Dunno. She just disappeared into mist. Black smoke. Turned into a black smoke monster. Isn't that in Game of Thrones? Isn't that how evil baby were born or something? I don't know. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, so they've got Osha on the ship now. They're heading back to Coruscant. And we learn that the council had told them she's too old and all that the title, I had to make a choice. And said, well, anyway. What's done is done. And says, what we're going to do, so they're going to go back and report to the council, and they're going to report that May started the fire. I don't know how they know that May started the fire. Did she tell them? Don't know. But they said May started the fire, and because Yorkshire obviously didn't tell him, I don't think, because she's unconscious there, and I don't think she'll have just said, May started the fire, while they were holding her. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. They said May started the fire, and that killed everybody, and only Yorkshire survived. That's what they're going to tell. So they're going to lie to the council, essentially. And that's why they're so guilty. And that's the reason, I suppose, as well, why Torben poisons himself. But it still doesn't make a whole amount of sense. And then as he wakes up, he says, what happened? May started a fire. And there you go, and then it ends. What a waste of time. What a waste of an episode. They could have used all that in episode 3. They could have just had episode 3, been a bit longer than it was, and just done it all in that. And we could have learned what happened earlier. But no, they want to save it near the end. Bit of a mystery. We don't want any mysteries now, do we? We want things to start being explained now. Well, yeah, fair enough. It is being explained, but too late, in my opinion. Why has this director only got one name? Koganada. Are they Japanese? Is that a Japanese name? Sounds it, doesn't it? I don't know. Shall I look it up? I'm going to look it up. I'm curious now. Just bear with me. South Korean filmmaker. There we go. And it's yes, it's a he. He is a South Korean filmmaker. So there you go. So now you know. I was just curious. Right, and that's it. Oh, by the way, over the end credits, we get a song. Listen to a bit. You ready? I'll get a bit further on. There you go. And actually, I was listening to it, I was thinking, is this Amanda Stenberg? Because remember, she did a video, didn't she, not so long ago? Not a very good one, but she's kind of hot in it, I must admit. But she did a video, didn't she, about, how she's so oppressed. Multimillionaire, so oppressed. And I thought maybe it's her singing, but it isn't, because I checked at the end. We'll have a look at the end. It tells you at the end who sings it. I'm not going too far. There we go. Power of Two. Why is this writing so small? Performed by Victoria Monet. Is she related to the painter? Don't know. But Power of Two, that song's called. I thought it was Amanda Stenberg, but it isn't. But anyway, never mind. Never mind. So there we go. That's the end of the episode. And it was rubbish. Apart from the lightsaber fight with Kelnaka, I quite enjoyed that bit. But the rest of it was just pointless and confusing and didn't make any sense. Oh dear. So we'll leave it there. We've only got one episode left. What are they going to do in the next episode? God knows. I'm trying to find a cool bit. There's some lightsaber action going on. There we go. They've one episode left. So do you think Leslie Yee Headland is pretty certain she's going to get a second series? Is it going to be like Alan Partridge? Have I got a second series? Because if they do give her a second series, it's going to be a bit of a travesty, in my opinion, given they're trying to claim this show's a big success. Amanda Stenberg were on The View, one of these shows in America. That one with Whoopi Goldberg on, I think. They were trying to make out, the show's such a huge success that it's made Amanda Stenberg a target, which is nonsense. Because they're trying to make out that if you don't like this, you're a racist or some sort of histophobe. It's a load of nonsense. But people don't like it because it's crap, basically. It looks nice because it's had $180 million spent on it, apart from the metal detectors. But it looks nice, and it's good effects and stuff, apart from the speeders not looking as good as they did in Return of the Jedi. Never mind. But anyway, yeah, it's just rubbish. It's just not a good show. So, right. We'll leave it there. I'm not even going to give this a score because it's not deserving of one. With one episode left, what's going to happen? God knows. I have no idea. I suspect Mother Coral might reappear because she kind of, unless I've just blinked or whatever, unless I wasn't paying attention enough when she turned into smoke, I don't know. But did she sacrifice herself then? I don't know, to take over. But it were the others that that controlled. I don't know what happened. It's just terrible. It's just bad. I can't get over it. It's just so bad. But don't worry, we've got Skeleton Crew to come soon. But it's got Jude Law in it, and I like Jude Law. But then again, I like Carrie-Anne Moss, so I quite like Jonas Swatamo, or whatever the hell he's called, who's playing the Wookiee. Don't mean he's going to be in a good show, does it? And he's not. And I suspect Skeleton Crew won't be good either. I'm waffling, aren't I? I'm going to have to go. Right, so it's rubbish. It's not as bad. People are saying this is the worst so far. I mean, you could say it's the worst because it's just episode 3 again, just from a different viewpoint. But at least this has got some action in it, and lightsabers and stuff. So that gives it 1 extra point, or a half of an extra point, or whatever, over episode 3. The Jedi are the bad guys. But we knew they were saying that. All season they've been saying that. And they've just consolidated it in this episode. Is that the right word? Don't know. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see you there.